Shalom, shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh, by Shem Yahushua, by Shem Kadash, double honor to the apostles and the elders, and bishops, a great millstone, salutation to the Akim that are doing this work in truth and faith, and in all sincerity. Today's lesson is basically going to be about war news and making sure everything is good. With prophecy, checking with prophecy and lining it up with the scriptures and giving assurance that Yahweh Shem Yahushua doesn't lie, and he's making good on this promise. So there's a article, just headline, says that Trump calls out Putin issues new warning, and we're just itching closer and closer to the finale of the fall of this empire, Babylon, aka America, with several few prophecies being fulfilled.
Air conditioning system, and all thanks to our summer special, you're able to get a.
So, happening today, President Trump will speak with Ukrainian President Zelensky as they work toward a deal to end the Russia-Ukraine war.
Fox correspondent Lucas Tomlinson joins us live in Washington with those details. Lucas, good morning.
Good morning, Rachel. Yesterday in Beijing marked the first time that Russian President Vladimir Putin met with the leaders of China and North Korea. The first time they were all in place at the same time, and this was President Trump's message to Vladimir Putin when asked yesterday at the White House.
I have no message to President Putin. He knows where I stand, and he'll make a decision one way or the other. Whatever his decision is, we'll either be happy about it or unhappy, and if we're unhappy about it, you'll see things happen.
Now, yesterday's China showcased new nuclear weapons in a large military parade, including its new intercontinental ballistic missile dubbed the DF-61. Trump was asked about the trio of leaders, which some saw as an ominous image to the free world.
My relationship with all of them is very good. We're going to find out how good it is over the next week or two. I watched the speech last night. President Xi's a friend of mine, but I thought that the United States should have been mentioned last night during that speech because we helped China very, very much.
Now, Putin claims he's ready to meet with Ukraine's president, saying, quote, if Zelensky is ready for a meeting, let him come to Moscow. Putin also unveiled his peace terms, something we've heard before. What Russia gets, Ukraine concedes control of Donetsk.
That's crazy. If Putin wants to meet, he's got to come to Moscow. I mean, if Zelensky wants to have a meeting, he's got to come to Moscow. That's certain suicide right there. Knowing that these two countries are at war. I don't understand. But everything is being fulfilled as planned by Yahweh Shem Yahushua. That's the whole point. This is taking place. Number one, the Most High Yahweh said he was going to do it. Number two is to redeem the elect of the nation of Israel, being you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. This is what it all boils down to. The 2/3 will not get a direct inheritance from Yahweh, why Yahweh Shai. They have to get their inheritance through their fathers, through reincarnation of the loins of the elect men.
In Luhansk, that's all the Donbass region, of course, freeze the front lines in Kherson and Zaporizhia. And the U.S. recognizes Russia's sovereignty over captured land. That's likely a non-starter, guys. What Russia concedes, it's willing to negotiate over small slivers of Sumy in the Kharkiv regions, and Russia's open to discussing security guarantees for Ukraine. Russia has said it's not open to Western forces being in Ukraine. Now, Ukraine's president says any retreat from the Donbass would leave his country exposed and give Putin a base for future attacks. As you mentioned off the top, Lawrence, Zelensky and other European leaders are meeting in Paris, led by the leaders of Britain and France. And President Trump's special envoy, Steve Witkoff, is also in attendance in Paris today.
So, Lucas, we know he offered, hey, I'll meet with Zelensky, just have him come to Moscow. But he also says over and over again, Zelensky's not a legitimate leader of Ukraine. And his point is he's gone past his 5-year term. But in the Constitution of Ukraine, it specifically says if you're at war, you can't have elections.
That's correct, Brian. We saw it during World War II in Britain. They didn't hold elections for 10 years, although Churchill was later defeated. They didn't even make the VJ Day, the victory over Japan. But that's likely, this is what officials say is likely Putin stalling for more time, Brian.
No question. Thanks, Lucas.
Thanks, Lucas. Talked with some sources close to the president yesterday, and the best way they described it is the president is calm, cool, collected. That he realizes the games that they're playing right there. That's why he released that statement saying, good luck conspiring against the United States. He knows exactly what's going to happen. Now, he wanted to give peace a shot, and he wants to want peace. But the economic pressure that these countries are experiencing right now is only going to increase if they continue to plot against the United States in its interests.
Yeah, I definitely think the president wants peace, and he's going to continue to move in that direction. But I also think that President Trump realizes that the real enemy is China. That's his focus. And I think the conversations with Putin that he had in Alaska were not just about Ukraine. I believe they also have to do with the Western Hemisphere. President Trump wants China out of the Western Hemisphere, and he wants Russia to not interfere on behalf of Nicolas Maduro in the case of Venezuela. So I think this is a big dynamic game of chess that's being played right now. I thought it was really interesting, this hot mic that was caught. Putin and Xi were caught on this hot mic. They were talking about immorality, but they were also talking about something else, which is very immoral. Listen.
In the past, people rarely lived longer than 70 years, but today they say at 70 you are still a child.
Biotechnology is continuously developing. Human organs can be continuously transplanted. The longer you live, the younger you become, and even achieve immortality.
Some predict that in this century, humans may live up to 150 years old.
Couple of things.
Weirdos.
Yeah,
Total
100%.
weirdos. Total weirdos. And there's an organ problem in where they're stealing organs from prisoners and from the Uyghurs. This is not like science fiction. This is stuff that Xi is being accused of in real time.
I'm pretty sure President Xi and Putin aren't going to go on an organ donor list and wait for their name to be called. So there's some 22-year-old there about to give up his liver. So we'll see how that goes. But the bigger story is this. They wanted us to see that the world could exist no longer as America's the premier power. They want you to see that North Korea, that mutant. They want you to see that Belarus, who's a sycophant who basically signed over his whole country because he lost an election over to Russia. They want you to see Russia and China. Every day they describe how close they are. I'm surprised they don't eventually make out on camera, and we'll see if they eventually team up. But here's the bigger story. I love the president's cool, calm reaction to what's going on. Oh, they wanted me to watch. I watched.
Yeah.
I watched everything. I noticed you talked about World War II, but nice if you gave the U.S. some credit. He's right, because if you see what they did, they actually talked about China winning World War II and didn't even talk about our role in beating Japan. So the president really is into America's tradition, America's success, doesn't like that. What he's trying to say is, I know you're
Basically, that that's the point. The tensions are escalating. You're having not only the war between Ukraine and Russia, but you also have other different skirmishes, and Lord's will sooner to come to a boiling point where the announcement will be made and it's official for the last war. So close out with that, giving all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Kodash. Again, double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops. Until next time, Shalom.